been saying for the longest time, in fact, that these folks are all conjoined. They're all together. NATO, the big banks, interestingly enough, not just Washington and New York, but London and Paris as well. Explain that triad a little bit better so the rest of the people who are not allowed to hear that message can better understand it. Alex?
Well, actually, a lot of this came out in Senate hearings in the 70s, the Church Committee hearings, but also a lot of documents came out in the early 2000s from the State Department, and some were leaked that at the end of World War II, you had OSS and then the CIA make a deal with the old European elites and the Project Paperclip to protect 30,000+ Nazis and to kind of create a new alliance. The Bilderberg Group was their yearly meeting, and this consortium basically form one big power block and to develop NATO down the road as a world army. They were talking about being a world army even in the 50s. So they've had this larger EU project for a long time that was actually a brainchild of Adolf Hitler. That's publicly on the record.
Damn.
And so you've got all these financial interests, Europe, the British Empire, what's left of it, and the American Empire that basically merged with their banking systems at the end of World War II and then Bretton Woods and Bretton Woods II. And so that power block dominated the world, but then through mismanagement, greed, and through inflation and through policies, now not just the domestic populations of those blocks have turned against the establishment, but also the BRICS and other sectors have lined up against it. And so it's in massive free fall decline. And so you ask the question, I mean, how it all works. It's the European Central Bank is the same shareholders as the private Federal Reserve Bank, and the same thing with the Bank of England. So it literally is the International Bank of Settlements, the IMF, the World Bank, and then BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, that are just the holding companies on the private side of that. Like you have the WEF head having to leave because he's so discredited, Klaus Schwab. So in comes Larry Fink, who really was the head of it. And 2 years ago, you had the World Economic Forum becoming co-equal with the UN in a high-level agreement, even more powerful than the Security Council. And they basically are setting global corporate policies through the corporate governance ESG plan that they're trying to set up. So it's a one world central bank system that's made up of the UK, Europe, and the United States, with Japan and South Korea lesser pieces to that. And so that's what the world's facing. And then through the U.S. and through NATO, that's its military arm of military expansion. Countries they can't take over economically or through color revolutions, they then go to direct warfare with.